don't know why I'm tired. I haven't done anything.
Guys, the Rona basically got to me.
It's a pandemic. It's a pandemic. It's a pandemic.
Guys, I don't think people are going to hear this enough times. When I tell you 2019 was the absolute ghetto, I'm really not joking about.
Somebody lied to her several times and told her that she was fly, hot, and sexy and beautiful.
Every time I think about the situation I ended up in, I just think, how? What were the chances, Amina? What were the chances that even when I moved out into this little town, chaos was going to follow me? It was like, I don't know, man. Anyway, I'm going to get into it. Basically, guys, I will never, ever, 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 God forbid, please, I will never do a house share with people I don't know ever again. It's not worth it. Never again. I have heard all those horror stories with my student friends. By the way, guys, this is a disclaimer. If something doesn't make sense, you probably haven't watched some of my other videos, so go and check it out. At this point, it's like, okay, my job's starting soon. I need to find a place. And at the time, financially, it was easier for me to do a house share than to just jump straight in and rent out an apartment. So I told myself, right, looking at all these house shares online in this town, a lot of the contracts were like 6 months. Some of them were a year. But I told myself, right, for the time being, let me find a house share that I'm going to stay in with the 6-month period where it's cheap. It works out cheaper for me. And then after that, when I've saved up a bit after working at this job for a few months, then I can move into a proper apartment. That was my plan initially. And that's what I was like, okay, that's what I'm sticking with. Outside of London, when it comes to house prices and rent prices and stuff, different story, I tell ya. Like, I was looking at some of these rooms here and I was thinking, wow, imagine in London renting for these prices. Imagine. Anyways, so I'm now looking and I'm like, okay, cool. It's a house share. And another thing that I realized with these house shares, a lot of them have en suites, like it was a standard thing. And I was like, thank goodness. Because one thing I knew for sure that I was not going to compromise on, yeah, is having an ensuite. There was no way. Like, for me, I was already compromising by putting myself in a situation where I'm going to have to probably end up sharing with people that I don't know. So at the bare minimum, especially after seeing a lot of these properties online had en suites, I was like, there's no way I'm going to take a room without an ensuite. I shall not share a bathroom. It's just not happening. There was this house that I saw online and it was brand new. Guys, they literally just finished building it. So I'm now looking at this room in this brand new house and there's a room with an ensuite and it's a double room. It's got everything I needed. Bills included, rent, council tax included, everything included, $525 a month. I was like, girl, I want it right now. Booked a viewing, got all that paperwork sorted out, everything checked out, cool. I've now moved in. And I'm thinking, rah, I'm in a 6-bed house by myself. What happens is a week later, I find out my friend who was on the same course as me and is now working at the same company as me, she's also viewed this property and she's now moving into a different room in the house. So I'm thinking, bruh, this is a nice situation to be in. It's just going to be me and my friend in a 6-bed house to ourselves. Looking back, this was probably the calm before the storm. Guys, I didn't think someone like me would have this much chaos attracted to her. Like, to this day, I just don't understand how. Is what unfolded after these 2 months of peace, bliss, and happiness, guys. I don't understand. I don't know why, but it happened. It was a fine, sunny day. No, it wasn't. It was grey. So basically, me and my friend now, because we work at the same company, we used to go to work together. So we used to take the same bus to work and the same bus back. One day, we're coming back from work together. We walk into the house, into the kitchen, and there's all the stuff in the kitchen. Guys, that kitchen was packed. Me and my friend were just looking at each other like, Did someone break in and decide to settle in our house? Because what the hell is going on? While me and my friend are processing the situation, this guy comes in through the entrance of the kitchen, and he's just like, hi, my name is blah blah. I've just moved in. I'm gonna be a new roommate. So like, me and my friend are just looking at each other like, okay, hi. And I think that was the first red flag. Guys, me and my friend, yeah, we did not get notified about anything to do with a new tenant coming into this house. Nothing. Oh yeah, by the way, to this day, I've never actually met the landlord of this house that I used to live in. Never. And that should have been the first red flag. The fact that I never actually officially got to meet the landlord. I've never met his existence. In fact, he's never actually ever returned my emails. I don't even know if it's a he or she or an alien. I don't know who the landlord is.
If I don't sound ridiculous, I don't know who this man is. I mean, he could be walking down the street. I wouldn't know a thing. Sorry to this man.
I'm going to now explain how this house is set up in terms of the rooms and the floors. So you've got the ground floor, which was my friend's room, and in the kitchen and the living room and whatnot. Then you've got the middle floor, which is where I was on. And on that middle floor, there's 2 other rooms as well. So altogether, there's 3 rooms on that middle floor, right? And then the top floor, there's 2 rooms. Those top 2 rooms don't have an ensuite, right? The middle floor, 2 of the rooms have an ensuite, 1 of them don't. And in the downstairs room, which my friend was in, that has an ensuite. So 3 rooms of ensuites, 3 rooms without an ensuite. You might be thinking, why the hell am I telling you this? Don't worry, you will find out. So I didn't really see this guy much at the beginning. Guys, if my voice sounds funny, I've got a stuffed nose. So like, yeah, bear with me. What unfolded, yeah, in hindsight, it felt like an EastEnders episode. That's literally what it felt like after this 3 week of peace. Where do I start? Red flag number 1 was from the beginning. When me and my friend came into that kitchen and we just see all this new stuff in the kitchen, that already started ringing alarm bells in my head, because I'm thinking, why did no one notify us that we were going to have a new tenant? Nothing. We don't even know if they did any viewings or whatever. We came to find out later on that they were just moved because of an emergency situation. The house that they were in, the roof fell in, things were leaking and whatnot, so they had to evacuate everyone. And it was owned by the same agency, so they just moved them to this property because it's brand new and there are rooms available. So I'm like, okay, cool. Still, you should have notified us, but okay, fine, whatever. Red flag number 2, it was clear after these few weeks that neither the landlord or the management or the agency or anyone who's supposed to be doing background checks did their background checks. Another red flag, yeah? Do you know what? This is probably like the least surprising one. Because obviously I already knew what I was going to brace myself for when I told myself I was going to do a house share. I already knew, like, Amina, not everyone has had home training like you, okay? Some people don't have manners. And I already heard all the horror stories that my uni friends have told me. I've been to some of my friends' places that live in student accommodation. I've seen with my own eyes the horrors of the way some people live.
Oh my gosh.
So I had taken all of that into account. I'm thinking, okay, Amina, worst case scenario, just don't eat. In fact, just make up all your fasts. If you can't use the kitchen, just do that, yeah? The fridge stank. The sink stank. The floor stank. Even the windows stank. Windows that let in air, it was stinking. Everything was just rotting in that kitchen. Like, every time I would come back from work, there was just this lingering smell in the kitchen. And as the days went on, it just became more unbearable, to the point where I was like, nah, I can't. It actually got to a point where I refused to cook in that kitchen. So for like a few months, I was just ordering takeaway. Or when I used to go back to London to my parents, I'd bring food from there. That's what it got to. That's what it got to. Guys, it was bad. And it was in this moment that I really deeped, yeah. And damn, people are built differently. Differently, I tell ya. Imagine if I had to share a bathroom with some of these lot. Nope. There were just so many things that were just ridiculous. Management just weren't responding. Like, guys, these people and emails, they're allergic to each other. Things are starting to unravel. Like, there's all these issues with the house and repairments and all that stuff. Like, it was just a mess. What you will find out later on is that that failure to do background checks pretty much put us all in danger. Not only was this person not a law-abiding citizen, it turned out this person was also injecting, keyword, injecting harmful, illegal substances in their body. Yes, really and truly. Not weed, not even crack, heroin. Don't even ask how I found out. Don't even ask. But I found out. Yeah, it was just mad. This guy was also a woman beater.
No way! No, I gotta take this off because my brain it gotta clear up.
Like, there were times I'll be in the kitchen and his partner would come around and you would see bruises on her face. You'd see bruises on her and would be like, are you okay? Is everything all right? Like, you know? And you can see the denial. So like now, me and my friend are in a situation where we know, you know, it's a bit mad. There's some things happening here. And we're now trying to figure out, like, how do we escalate the situation? Like, what do we do, kind of thing? And all of this is happening and all these other problems in the house are unraveling. Guys, it was just stress upon stress. What really tipped everything over the edge and what led to last few months of living in this house share to feel like we were being held hostage was a particular incident that happened. Basically, guys, oh yeah, I've skipped a bit. Basically, by the time we got to this incident I'm going to tell you about, a new person is in the house, is another guy. And this guy was chill, he was calm, you know, didn't bother anyone, whatever. This new guy, Maskeen, he didn't know. He didn't know what he got himself into by moving into this house. He wasn't aware. Anyways, he's now in the house. Also, a new girl moved in, but she didn't stay for very long. I'm just going to briefly sum it up because it's long. This girl, yeah, she moved in and maybe like 2 weeks into her moving into the new place, she was on the same floor as me. She was actually next door to me. One day, she came back from work slightly a bit earlier than normal. And when she came back, she saw the crazy dude. She saw him take those appliances and put them in a taxi and drove off. So she came to the conclusion that this guy's stealing kitchen appliances that's supposed to be for everyone. So obviously she did what she thought was right and she emailed management and reported the incident. Here again, another red flag with this management at this agency. When someone has reported something like that, you go and investigate. You visit the property or you send like a generic email to confirm if we've got all the kitchen appliances, something like that. You don't just ignore it and then you don't also put the tenant in danger. What this management did, yeah, and this was the moment where I realised this agency, they don't even care if we die at this point. What they did after the girl reported that incident, yeah, they emailed the guy in question and told them, oh, a tenancy has reported you for doing this, and this. Is it true? Even though they said a tenant, the guy put 2 and 2 together and deducted it down to the new girl that moved in. And from that day on, him and his girlfriend put this girl through a lot. They put this girl through hell. They were ripping up her work clothes. They were smashing up her stuff. They were breaking into her door. They broke her door even, so she couldn't lock it. The girl was so scared. She wanted to finally move her stuff out and just live with her parents for a while the situation was being investigated, yeah. She was too scared to move out. Like, I remember I had to break up an argument between her and the crazy guy because they were just onto her. They were ready to rip her to shreds. Like, that day was so mad. She eventually left and now there's me, my friend, the crazy guy and his girlfriend, and this new guy who's just chill. And so fast forward to this incident. It was a regular evening. I remember being in the kitchen. I think I was making dinner. I was making something. I think I was probably just eating cereal or something. The chill dude, he was just fixing his bike. I think he was in the garden or something, fixing his bike. my friend, she was in her room, which is next to the kitchen, remember? And I think she was getting ready to go to the gym or something. And we're just chilling. She's not in the kitchen, by the way. She's in her room. Me and the chill dude, we're in the kitchen. And so the door was closed. And then my friend, she comes in through the door and she's like, guys, can you not hear that? And me and the other guy were like, what do you mean? She's like, Amina, upstairs, it's a bit mad, right? Like there's something happening upstairs. And then she leaves the door slightly open, the kitchen door, so we can try and hear. And we can faintly hear like shouting. So then obviously I went to my room because my room is on the middle floor, but it's indirectly underneath the crazy guy's room. So in my room, I would be able to hear a lot of what's going on there, especially if they're shouting. So I went to my room and kept the door slightly open just so I could hear what was going on. Guys, I was so scared for this girl. This crazy psycho was beating the shit out of this girl. He was beating her up. Like, you could hear the punches, you could hear the thud. He's screaming at her, things were being smashed against the wall. I could hear thumping. Like, this guy was beating her up. And it got to a point where you could hear the girl screaming and she's asking for help. She's like, he's choking me, I can't breathe, he's going to kill me, help, help, help. At this point, I'm panicking. So obviously, I went and grabbed my phone and I called the police. I'm explaining it and I'm trying to stay calm. The policewoman on the phone, she was like, stay where you are, make sure you're safe and the others are safe, and we'll come and we'll deal with this incident. They said roughly about 10 minutes and I'm thinking, okay, cool, whatever. I'm still panicking, by the way. I'm just like, yeah, okay, cool. But like, I'm shaking. And I'm just, at this point, I'm thinking, do I go upstairs and try to stop them? I was scared because I saw how ruthless this guy could be if someone gets on his bad side. And on top of that, you know, he's abusing like proper hard drugs. So I don't want to be in a situation where I get on this person's bad side. Bruh. A few minutes later, I heard the girl running down the stairs. So somehow she manages to break free from this guy and run downstairs. She was barely wearing anything. She ran, I think she was even barefoot. She ran down the stairs and she ran out of the house. And I'm still like, the police are on their way. Literally like 3-4 minutes after this is happening. And I'm just thinking, what? She runs, and then I think at this point the crazy guy figures that someone called the police, and he's now running down the stairs and he runs out of the house. Guys, it happened so quick. At this point, both of them have run out. My friend goes to chase after her and see if she's okay and like calm her down and stuff. The police are still on their way, by the way, and the guy, he's run off. Literally like 2-3 minutes after that, after those two people have run out, the police have arrived. By that time, my friend, she's managed to catch up with the girl and she's calming her down, and a police officer attends to her and starts asking a question. At this point, I now go back down to the kitchen and I'm with the other guy, the chill guy, and my friend has calmed the girl down and is now left with the police officer. So she comes back into the house and now we're all at the dinner table, just processing what the hell has just happened. Because bear in mind, guys, these lot were arguing all the time before this incident. Like, they used to argue a lot, but it was never to the extent that we all witnessed that night. Like, it was mad. Now sitting on the dining table in the kitchen, and the rest of the officers, they come and they sit down and they start asking us questions like, what happened? How did it start? So we're not explaining the situation. They took our details and they said, there's a possibility if this case gets pursued further and it gets taken to court, that we might need you to come to court and be a witness. Would you be okay with that? I'm not gonna lie, guys. When the police officer asked that, I was just deep in my life. Because it's like, I've lived in London for a while. I've lived in London for almost all my life. Never have I ever been put in such a situation. I've never gotten involved with police like that before in my life. Like, and London is wild. So I thought, if I'm moving to a small town, what are the chances of me getting involved in something like this? What are the chances? A few days later, an officer comes. They told us that this was going to happen. An officer comes and he asks further questions. And then he asks again, because he's like, on our record, it doesn't say if you are willing to be a witness if the case proceeds further. At this point, it was just like, yeah, we ended up deciding not to be witnesses. And to be honest, we don't even know what ended up happening. I'm sorry. I don't even know the girl like that for me to be riding out for her. We withdrew being witnesses. We never heard back from them after that second time the police officer came anyway. While all this is happening, don't think I forgot about the crazy guy. This guy, yeah, from that evening he ran out, did the police ever find him? The reason why it took so long for the police to even update us the way they did, you know that night when the guy ran out, after the girl ran out, they couldn't find him. At the time, they couldn't find him, and they couldn't find him for at least a week. The police in this small little town, they couldn't find one guy. One guy. Do you know what was mad? This one guy that they couldn't find, do you know how many times he came back to the house? How many times he came back to the house while we're at work, breaking into the house? The next few months up until I left this house and moved to where I am now, I felt like I was being held hostage. I was stressed. Stressed, I tell ya. It was long. They couldn't find this guy. It's a small town. They could not find this guy. And this guy was coming back into the house. And I remember I was at work and I got a call and I went to take, because it was like, it said no caller ID. So for me, normally I don't pick up no caller ID. But given the situation, I thought maybe this could be the police or something. I don't know. It could be a detective. I don't know. I just felt like, okay, any no caller IDs, this time I'm going to have to pick up. So I pick it up and then I'm getting an update and they're telling me they can't find this guy. So then I'm just there thinking, why don't you try searching, just staying around the area? Because chances are he's probably going to come back because a lot of his stuff is in the house. And they're like, yeah, we'll see, we'll see. They're being so blasé about it. And I'm just thinking, are these people mad? Like, have you not deeped the situation here? And it turns out this guy, the police have been looking for him for time. This guy is not new to the police. This guy is not new to the police. This is how I found out that this guy was not a law-abiding citizen. And somehow, he fell through the cracks of the background checks that this agency supposedly did and is living in the house with us.
No way! No, I gotta take this off because my brain is gotta clear up.
Guys. If I don't laugh, I'll cry. The police have history of this guy. Deep it. The police have history of this guy. And they've been looking for him already. And even now, they still can't find him. And they were like saying things like, oh, make sure your house is locked. Make sure your rooms are locked. Your windows are locked. This and that. I'm like, you don't need to be telling us twice. I don't know how, but he managed to break into the house. Because normally, before all of this was happening, even when it was just me, but even before this guy moved in, I was always locking my room. Every time I left the house, every time I went back to London, I always used to lock my room regardless. How he's managing to come into the house just didn't make sense because the windows were closed, the garden door was always locked, the back door, the locks, it wasn't even a proper lock. Like, you could just tap it with your toe and you can still get back into the back garden. Like, they just didn't put any effort with the back door. We found out that he managed to break in through one of the rooms that's not occupied by anyone. Because it was not occupied by anyone, nobody went in that room, so we didn't know whether it was locked or unlocked. And it turns out that the window was unlocked and he was climbing in through there. Also updating them like, hello, this is the situation that's happening. This person that you're looking for is breaking into the house while we're at work. Like, can someone not just patrol the area and be able to find him? Because if he's managing to break into the house, then surely he's not somewhere far. And they're like, yeah, we're currently doing investigation. There's all these processes, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, cool. You lot clearly want me to die. Okay, we get it. By the way, guys, management. Did you think they cared about our lives? They didn't give a shit. They didn't care. They did not care, guys. They did not care.
You don't care.
Let me tell you. Right,
Management, yeah. These lot, yeah. We emailed them time and time and time again. We called them. We messaged them. Any number that was in the booklet that they give you when you first move in, yeah, we're just calling. Guys, I remember emailing the landlord, and my friend also emailed the landlord. You know how when you're on annual leave, you have that automated messaging. This guy had an automated message that was a year old, as in, it was 2019 at the time. This guy had an automated message. I think it was like September something 2018. So at that point I realised I don't even think this landlord exists. I don't know who this landlord is. And to this day, I will never know who the landlord is. Basically, they just want us to die. What we came to discover was this guy, not only was he breaking into the house, my guy was barricading his door from the inside. So when he was coming in and out, he was finding ways to lock the door from the inside so that no one could come in if they caught him slacking.
Man, I am suffering.
Guys, I respect the forward thinking, but read the room. We're all scared and you are a criminal, my guy. We're now in a situation where the police are on a hunt for this guy, but don't seem to be able to find him. Management is not responding to the situation because what was also messed up, right? The police even told us, like, you guys have reported it, which is fine, but management also need to make a report. They need to file an official report of this incident too. So in case anything gets damaged or broken or whatnot. Basically, they were like, you need to let your landlord know and your management know that this incident has happened so that they can report it. And we were like, please, why don't you go and find them and tell them, because they're not responding to anything we're saying. Me and my friends, like, and everyone else that was in the house, our hands were tied. There was not much we can do because when it came to reporting a lot of the incidents that were taking place before this mad situation, we couldn't do much when it came to the police involvement because the management themselves weren't reporting it. So, like I said, I think they just wanted us to die at this point. It got to a point where he broke in and he would not leave. And he gave us that look where if anyone snitches, you're finished. We were now in a situation where it was like, we want the police to find this guy, but I don't want to be a victim of snitches get stitches. Do you know what I mean?
I'm not getting involved.
I was just like, you know what? I'm just going to keep practicing my shahada, which I already know. Ayatul Kursi the thing, and see if I can survive. That was all I could do at this point because there was nothing else that would make me feel safe. Just lock the door when you sleep. You don't have to, you know what, you don't have to eat. Make up your fasts. You don't need dinner. Don't need to go to the kitchen. Make up your fasts. It was just long. And all of this was happening. It was affecting me at work as well. Like, I was so distracted. I was so out of it and I was getting sick anyway. And eventually, like, I told my colleagues and then I told my manager and they were just like, this situation is mad. It comes up to now August time. And obviously from March to September, that was how long my tenancy agreement was, isn't it? And obviously while all of this is happening, I'm in a very unsafe situation and management's not responding. So I remember I sent like a long email detailing all the incidents that we have reported that these guys have not responded to. And then after that, I was like, due to all of this, I will not be making my full payment this month until these situations are, incidents are resolved. So even after that email, where I said, I am not paying the full amount this month, ask me if they replied to me anytime soon. They just didn't care. They just didn't care. So I'm like, so do you guys not care about your money? Do you guys not care about anything? Like, how are you greedy with no vim? Like, it doesn't make any sense. The last month, I only paid half. And in the last month of the actual contract, I was asking them, okay, what's the procedure when it comes to, like, returning your key and, you know, finishing off the agreement, like, taking pictures? Is there going to be someone that's going to come and look at the house to see if you get your full deposit back? Based on how they've been responding to the whole situation and all these other complaints that we had been making throughout these few months, I just knew I was not going to see that deposit. So for me, I was like, I'm just going to deduct the deposit from the last month's rent. And that's exactly what I did. And I'm glad I did because I never saw my deposit. Ever. Speaking of leaving the property, I had agreed on a certain date. And that date, I think it was on a Sunday where I had to have all my stuff gone. I remember that weekend where it was like my last weekend in the house. I was like, okay, I'm going to be in London, but I always come back on Sunday. So before I left London, I had already packed up all my stuff. All my stuff was packed up. So I knew when I came back in the evening from London, all I need to do is just put everything in a taxi and just send it to the new place. I remember I was in London and I got a text from my roommate, the other cool guy, because we were all in a group chat, and he messaged me privately and he was like, oh, I need to talk to you. And then I aired it because I think I just didn't reply straight away. So then he called me, and I'm still outside, by the way, and I picked up, and then he's like, oh, you need to come and take your stuff. And I'm like, why? And he's like, because there's someone here to move into this room. And I was like, huh? Someone who? And he's like, yeah, there's a new person who's saying that they're moving into this room. And I was like, wait a minute. I'm not even surprised anymore. If you lot don't even care for my life, there's nothing that you will do. So I wasn't even surprised at this point. But what really pissed me off at that moment is like, you're not even going to let me leave peacefully. You still want to cause me trouble. It's like, well, I'm not coming back, mate. I'm in London. I come back on Sunday. So I don't know what you want me to do. And at that point, I didn't even bother sending an email. He gave the new guy my number because he added them to the group chat. And then the guy messaged me. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry if this has been an inconvenience to you. The guy, your roommate, he updated me on the situation. And I'm sorry if I've caused an inconvenience. And I'm thinking, nah, it's got nothing. Don't feel bad. Like, bless him. Like, he was being so sweet. And he was like, oh, don't worry. I can just go. I'll just go stay with my parents until you've moved your stuff out. Don't rush. Don't panic about it. I'll be fine. And I felt so bad for him because I'm like, you have no idea what you've gotten yourself into. It was so frustrating because these people still haven't taken my keys. No one has come to see the property. I could have left it in a dump and they wouldn't know. And you know what's mad? Nobody came to clean that room. I'm a very thorough person when I clean. So I told the guy, like, don't expect these people to do any cleaning before you move in. I told the guy, like, don't worry, by Sunday everything will be gone. And I did just that. Yeah, I can't believe I went through all of this. In the space of 6 months, all of this was happening. Bear in mind, guys, I've missed out so many other horror stories because if I start, this video will be over an hour long. I cannot believe I was in this situation. To this day, like, it feels like a blur. It feels like a dream. Like, this time last year, I was in this situation. This time last year, the house, every week there was an incident happening. Every week felt like an EastEnders episode. That was my situation this time last year. Guys, when I tell you 2019 was so chaotic, I wish I was joking. I wish I was exaggerating. I really wish. If you liked the video, don't forget to hit that like button. Comment below your thoughts, like, have you guys had a crazy housemate, flatmate? I want to know some of you lot stories because I know, especially uni students, you lot definitely have horror stories. Like, I'm curious to read all about it. Comment down below if you've been in a crazy situation. Don't forget to subscribe. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching.